All right. Oh. Let's get settled. All right, let's see. It's 1 a.m. in Russia. This guy's dedicated. Yeah, sometimes I'll try to do these earlier, sometimes in the afternoon, but today I had to go meet to try the new gummy supplement. We're going to run production this week and hopefully be ready to ship. So be on the lookout for the supplements. It tastes really good. So these supplements here, they got creatine, things for energy like ginseng, amino acids for energy, B vitamins, B12, B6, which are extremely good for energy, and some branched chain amino acids. So this is kind of like, this is just an overall health. This is something you're going to just want to take in the morning. This is not like a pre-workout supplement. This is just something you should take every day to get in micronutrients that many people are lacking, such as the B vitamins, some amino acids that they're generally not getting, and creatine. This is just something you want to take every day just for overall health, more energy, more mental clarity, just overall wellness and well-being. So this is not a bodybuilding supplement, by the way. This is not like a muscle growth thing. This is just something you guys should just take daily, and you're going to feel a lot better once you do. I'm also coming out with a apple cider vinegar supplement. Many of you might be aware of the long list of health benefits associated with apple cider vinegar, such as improved gut health, pH balance in your stomach, improved digestion. Also, it reduces systemic inflammation, apple cider vinegar. So we came up with a gummy that makes apple cider vinegar not taste bad. So the only downside usually to, Ace, get out of there. Hey. The only downside to apple cider vinegar is it tastes like shit. So I came up with a supplement with apple cider vinegar. It's going to be an apple cider vinegar energy supplement. So it's going to have the benefits of apple cider vinegar minus how horrible it tastes. And it's going to have a little bit of caffeine in it. So for those of you who don't like coffee, the apple cider vinegar energy supplement that's coming after this one is going to be a good thing to take first thing in the morning for energy. Hold on. Some water? Oh, dog is looking for his water bowl. All right. So I'm going to go through some questions. First of all, if you guys want private one-on-one coaching, if you want me to write you a custom diet and workout based on all pertinent information, you can provide me through email. Email me at the email address below. So kind of just give me, your training history, your diet history, what seemed to work with training, what seemed to not work, troubles you had, things that may have interfered with your ability to stick to the training, diets you've tried, things that interfered with your ability to stick to a diet, your goals, etc. Just provide me an email with a lot of information about your diet and training history and your goals. Send it to that email address that's scrolling across the bottom, and I can write you a custom diet and workout plan. Also, I do 90-minute Zoom calls plus a custom diet and workout plan too. That's another coaching option. And if you haven't already tried my home workout, right there, that's the link for the high intensity training home workout. I just posted it. It's a really, really, really good home workout. I'm also going to be doing a high intensity training TRX style workout this week and listing that one too. So if you guys have a TRX thing that you can use at home, they can be effective. The way most people use them is not effective and stupid, but I do have ways you can apply high intensity training principles to a TRX workout so you can also train at home, meaning you're not going to need any equipment at all besides that TRX thing. So that's going to be coming out probably next week. So keep a lookout for that. I'm just trying to find ways that people can train at home since, the whole pandemic thing is throwing a wrench in the whole gym operation. So I'm going to be taking your guys' questions. So go ahead and, post them. If you want your question answered sooner, just drop a super chat. I believe that option is still available. If you do the super chat, I'll answer your question for all the other ones. So first one, for average body fat, what's your thoughts on main gaining? Term used by Greg Doucette, which means to roughly eat at maintenance or bulking. Well, here's the problem with this. First of all, bulking doesn't work, okay? The research showed that about 10% to 20% above maintenance calories is all that will be used to aid in the muscle growth process. Anything beyond that goes directly to fat storage. So if your basal metabolic rate is, we'll say 2,000, you're really only looking at 400 calories tops limit for a calorie surplus. Anything beyond 20% additional calories above your maintenance calorie intake is just going to result in fat. So bulking doesn't work. Okay. You can absolutely build muscle with maintenance calories as long as your protein is high enough. But main gaining, that's just a stupid term. And here's the thing, you really don't know. I mean, you can measure and calculate as much as you want, but you're very unlikely going to hit your maintenance calories every day. You're probably going to be above and below, and then average around your maintenance over the course of a week. So the thing is, many people are looking for this secret calorie intake or nutrient breakdown that's going to result in huge muscle growth, but you're not going to find it. There's no such thing. Your gains in muscle are going to be modest, usually. Only very few people with exceptional genetics see muscle growth that is better than modest. So instead of worrying about your calorie intake, and instead of worrying about all that other nonsense, worry about the most important thing that stimulates your muscle to grow, which is training very hard. The harder you train, the more you stimulate metabolic stress, the more you stimulate mechanical tension, the more you stimulate the mTOR pathway, the more you stimulate the nucleus to tell the cell to build more contractile tissue. That all comes from pushing your body hard. Anything other than that doesn't tell your body to build more tissue. So rather than worrying about all this other little stuff, focus on what sends the signal to turn on the genes to make your muscle grow. And that is metabolic stress, mechanical tension, and possibly muscle damage. And you get the most metabolic stress and the most mechanical tension by training very, very intensely, preferably to failure. Does that mean you have to train to failure to grow muscle? No, but you're going to likely get the most out of it by that. So forget the calories. All right, what core exercises do you recommend on a HIIT program and what cadence you use? Well, first of all, there's no such thing as core. The term core is made up by the fitness industry. If you think about what a core is, it is the center of a mass. Your core would technically be your spine. It would not be your abs. What I call it is the midsection or the trunk muscles. So that would be the muscles involved in spinal flexion, which is going to be your abdominals, which bend, and extension, which are your lumbar extensor muscles. The obliques are involved, those sorts of things. But so what are the muscles involved with spinal flexion? Well, your abdominals. What is their major function? To flex the spine, which is bend forward. So what is an exercise which applies resistance to that muscular function? A crunch. That's all you need. You don't need, the fitness industry fooled people into thinking if you do this ridiculous combination of all these different ab exercises, you're going to end up with a six-pack. That is a lie. That is wrong. Okay? You end up with a six-pack by reducing your calories for a long enough time to lower your body composition or lower your fat composition to a low enough level to display visible abs. The ab exercises you do have nothing to do with this. All right? So the midsection exercises you should be doing is anything that involves any sort of crunch, and cadence doesn't matter. Just do them slowly in a way to keep the muscle loaded. Whether it's 3 seconds, 6 seconds, and 20 seconds, I don't care. Just do it slowly. That's all. Could you notice big differences between 1 day, 2 days, and 3 days off when you train upper lower split? What do you mean? Big differences in what? Give me a follow-up to that question and I'll answer it. Would you consider ZMA, omega-3, and multivitamin supplement as necessary for optimal health? I don't know what ZMA is, but supplements are not necessary for optimal health. They are merely supplements. So think about what the word supplement means. It means putting in those nutrients instead of something else. You're supplementing. The reason you would want to use supplements is if you're not getting those micronutrients through food, which, if you're eating an appropriate diet, you can and should be getting all the micronutrients you need and all the vitamins through regular food. Meaning, no, a multivitamin omega-3 are not necessary for optimal health. What is necessary for optimal health is a balanced diet of animal protein, unrefined carbohydrates, and vegetables. But if you eat like shit, then yes, throwing in omega-3 and multivitamin will help you, but you shouldn't be eating poorly anyway. Okay. All right, so in the short clip with Elliot today, he has his feet off the ground to isolate the chest. Are there other machines, exercises this works for, such as a seated shoulder press machine? Okay, so the reason, so there's a couple reasons the machine is designed like this. The main reason was the machines were built to accommodate large bodies. Okay, so it is easier to fit or configure a machine to fit a smaller body than it is to try to squeeze a large body into a big machine. Now, a lot of the Med-X equipment, believe it or not, was used in high-level collegiate athletes and professional athletes and professional football players, and they're fucking huge, okay? So that is the main reason they were built like that, to accommodate larger bodies with a lot more adjustability. The reason Elliot had his feet hanging in that particular situation is because the studio I was training him at did not have, normally I would put stools just to rest your feet on. The stools move though. So this allows you don't want to be generating force through the floor up through your body in order to help with leverage for the machine. So we would ideally want to just to put some stools there just to rest the feet on, but you could let them dangle as well. But either way, you don't want, I mean, ideally, it's not going to make a huge difference. Ideally, you wouldn't want to drive your feet into the floor in order to produce more abdominal tension, more tension in your midsection in order to get leverage to push the weight up. So in the case with Elliot, it was a better option just to let the feet hang because there were no stools available. Because with that particular machine, if we put that machine all the way to the ground, the handles are going to be up here. But with every chest press, you want the handles just below your chest. You want the handles ideally right here. And you don't want them up here. So the way Med-X machines work, that's kind of how a lot of the X-Force machines are like that too. You just kind of let your feet dangle. Same with the pullover machine. Your feet will always be dangling on a pullover machine. And somebody made a stupid comment, and I had to correct them. Like, they said, "I love you, Elliot, but I can't take you seriously with your feet dangling." It's just like, that's just the dumbest comment ever. There's a reason for all of this. Everything I did, that video should be out in a day or two, me training Elliot on Med-X equipment. But, you know, I don't have people do things in an exercise for no specific reason. Everything Elliot did in that exercise was for a specific reason. Notice Elliot's feet were straight and not crossed. That is also for a specific reason. If your feet are going to dangle, you don't want to cross them because it's going to reduce blood circulation in your body and raise your blood pressure. All these things are intentional. You're likely, let's see, are there other machine exercises this works for, such as a seated shoulder press machine? I mean, it's not going to be a huge advantage to dangle your feet. It's just what you want to do is you want to focus on the targeted muscle group, and you don't want to be able to produce leverage by pushing on the floor, if that makes sense. Because, you know, that's just going to help you move the weight, and the goal isn't to move the weight, it's to load the muscle. So that, that's why the feet were like that. It's how Med-X machines are designed. And and somebody commented and said it was a poor machine design. And, it's unfortunate people are so stupid. Med-X is the best designed machine ever. All right. And everything is designed for a particular reason. So be careful when you listen to people's stupid comments, because people just kind of want attention because they feel insignificant. And it's very important for men to feel important. And sometimes a really stupid comment helps somebody feel important. So ignore those comments. All right. How do you know the difference between a good coach and one that only wants your money? A coach that only wants your money will not have you do resistance training. A coach that has you doing resistance training and focuses on form, technique, moving slowly, is a good coach. A coach that sticks with very simple exercises is a good coach. A coach that has you doing things like agility drills, cardio, jumping, throwing a medicine ball, kettlebells, powerlifting, that is a bad coach. And that is a coach that is dumb and or just wants your money. So a coach that has you doing, controlled movements, very basic exercises, resistance training is a good coach. A coach that has you doing all the dumb fads like kettlebells and HIIT cardio and all that, they're a bad coach. Stay away from them. They're just stupid. Just want your money. Okay. Do you rotate your push-pull sequence in your workout? Chest press, overhead press, second push-pull. So I always do a pushing movement and then a pulling movement. Switch them. So the first movement might be a chest press. The second movement, a pull down. So Arthur Jones found this in the past, that if you alternate between anterior and posterior muscle groups, it helps the antagonist recover. So for instance, I do a chest press to failure and then a pull down. With a pull down, the antagonist is the anterior muscle groups. So by working the posterior muscle groups, the antagonist muscle groups recover a little better. If you do two pulling movements in a row, you're going to notice that you're not going to be able to generate as much intensity. So I recommend doing a push-pull movement. Always work the muscle group and then work the opposite muscle group or the antagonist. What do you think about non-Amun-Ra diet? The man with big muscle mass and eat just one vegan meal per day and he's a power lifter. Well, he's probably on a huge amount of steroids and he's lying. Gotta remember, guys, a lot of people lie for shit. I mean, a lot of people will lie just to get, just to look different and just to be different. Let me look them up. Non-Amun-Ra. You got to remember, guys, people who are very successful bodybuilders or powerlifters have way better genetics than you. Do not try to emulate these people. You are not these people. For instance, I see him. Well, yeah, the dude's also 160 pounds. I was thinking, like, he doesn't have big muscles. That dude's tiny. So he probably does. He probably does eat one vegan meal a day, but he's definitely getting a lot of protein in, and he's got great genetics. You're not him. All right. When you see someone make these bold claims and look really great, likely there's three scenarios. One, they're flat out lying. Two, they have ridiculous genetics that you don't have. So if you were to try their method, you're going to fail miserably. Three, they could be on steroids. This guy, he's not on steroids. He has great genetics. You don't have those genetics. Don't do what he does. Okay, so I was actually thinking about this earlier today. I've heard that HIIT isn't optimal because it is extremely stressful on the nervous system. Is there truth to this, or are these people just not recovering properly? There's a couple problems with this. First of all, the fucking point of training is to stress the muscle. The nervous system is simply involved in sending the signal to the muscle. Yes, the nervous system is stressed, but what they're feeling is not central nervous system stress. It is simply muscle fatigue. But they call it central nervous system stress because they've never actually experienced real muscle fatigue. So they find that they do a high intensity training workout. The next couple of days, they don't have much energy. They're not very strong. And they blame it on central nervous system stress, when in reality, it's just muscular stress. Okay? These people just have no idea what they're talking about. And they'll make a claim like, it's too stressful on your nervous system, so you can't train as frequently. Well, no, it's very stressful on your muscle. That's why you can't train as frequently. So it's got nothing to do with nervous system stress. It's just deep muscle fatigue. Sure, your nervous system is a little stressed, but that's not the reason. And it is just a stupid thing. They say it's stressful on the nervous system because they go to try to lift heavy a day or two later and they notice they're not strong. And they're like, oh, my nervous system is fried. No, dude, your fucking muscles are fried. It's just so dumb. It's unfortunate how stupid people really are. But no, that's just wrong, guys. That's, don't worry about it. It's fucking wrong. How long do you think beginners should be doing upper, lower, off, upper, lower, off, off? I've never recommended upper, lower, off. I don't know where you got that from. I recommend upper body workout, day off, lower body workout, day off, upper body workout, day off, lower body workout, day off in the beginning for beginners. Until they're not able to tolerate that, then you reduce the volume or increase the frequency. So I never recommended this. All right. Do you think HIIT workouts may not be for people with autoimmune diseases due to the intense stressor that it is? I have ulcerative colitis. I'm starting to see some symptoms that arise after workout that go away after a couple days of rest. No, I mean, here's the thing. In order to get the optimal stimulus for improvements in muscle size and strength and all the systems that support the muscle, you have to push the muscle hard. So in your case, sure, you could do a less intense workout, but your stimulus is not going to be as good. There are two options. Yeah, you could train less intensely, but it's going to take you a heck of a lot longer to see results, and you're probably not going to see optimal results if you're training less intensely. Or you could just do really, really low volume workouts so that you don't accumulate that much stress. You never, ever want to reduce intensity of effort because that is literally what generates the most metabolic stress and the most mechanical tension, the two things that have been shown to stimulate muscle growth. So if you pull back on intensity of effort, you pull back on the stimulus for muscle growth. So you never want to pull back intensity. I would just reduce your volume. Do like 3 exercises per workout. There was a day, a couple weeks ago, I went in the gym and I did 2 exercises. I did leg press and leg curl, and I got out of there. There's nothing wrong with that. Today I did 4 exercises. I had my back was a little sore from sleeping on it wrong, so I didn't even train back today. I did shoulders and chest. I did a incline chest press, flat chest press, lateral raise, and forearms. So your workouts don't need to be long. I only have access to matrix machines. Would you advise me to do some exercises with barbell dumbbells, body weight instead of the machines? Well, All right. Well, if you're worried about dropping weights and getting hurt, then stick with the Matrix machines. The Matrix machines just aren't very good. It's not like if you're using Matrix machines, you're not going to see muscle growth. It's just they're a little less efficient. Like I said, your genetics are going to determine your response to exercise and your recovery and your diet, not the machine. Some machines are going to be more effective and efficient at producing stress, like the MedX machines, but a machine is not going to hold you back from seeing gains. It's just some of them just suck. So I would just recommend just use a Matrix machines. I answered this earlier in the stream, so go back to like 5-10 minutes. Okay. So, all right. So first of all, you need to wait a while before you start training again. Let everything heal first. And then when you get back into exercising, I wouldn't go super, super hard in the beginning. Maybe even not to failure in the beginning, because your body's going to be so sensitive to any stress on the musculoskeletal system. So I would do very basic, 4 or 5 exercise workout, maybe twice a week. Don't push too hard. And then as your body adapts, start to push a little harder. It's really the only advice I can give you. I can't give you a full detailed description of what you should be doing. You should, when you're ready to get back into training, email me at the email below for one-on-one coaching, because you have a specific case and there's way more information I'm going to need before I can give you really good advice. But my general advice is wait till you're fully recovered and do very low volume workouts to failure, but don't try to kill yourself. All right. So, quality types of unrefined carbs, quality protein, and quality fats. Well, here's the thing. Anything that grows naturally, anything that is processed or has some kind of processing function, avoid. When it comes to proteins, any animals, fish, pigs, cows, chicken, bugs, whatever, anything. When it comes to unrefined carbs, any vegetables, and fruits and vegetables are carbs. When we think of carb, we think of pasta and bread and whatever. These are refined carbs. These are things you want to stay away from. You want to stick to anything that you could grow or hunt. Like potatoes, sweet potatoes, squash, zucchini, any kind of vegetable, really. Those are all good carbs. Any kind of fruit, those are good carbs. Quality fats, the fat that comes in the protein, generally pretty good. Also, things like nuts, nut butters, almond butter, peanut butter, olive oil, coconut oil, flaxseed oil. Yeah, I mean, the way I get my fats, I use, olive oil and grass-fed butter. And then the fats that's included in the protein. I also eat a lot of peanut butter, but you want low sugar peanut butter. All right, recovery ability is limited. However, I was curious to know what you believe the average days for recovery to be for optimal muscle growth for men under 23, 2 to 3 days. But again, it depends. Average, 2 to 3 days. But I'm not saying if you wait 4 days, you're not going to have even necessarily not optimal muscle growth. A lot of these questions arise from people who have been training for a couple months and aren't seeing the results that they would like to see, so they think that their recovery is inadequate. It's not your recovery, it's your genetics. you're not going to see ridiculous gains from any training protocol. So don't worry too much. Just 2 to 3 days. If you feel rested, if you feel you have energy, if you feel strong, then you're recovered. It's as simple as that, really, most of the time. All right. I love leg press, but worry about glutes because I dropped the deadlift, which I hated. Does leg press hit the glutes? Okay. All right. I've explained this many, many times. So anything which extends the hip, such as going from a squatted position to a standing position. Go from this position to standing. The glutes are the prime mover in that movement, meaning the muscle that is moving you from the squat position to the standing position is the glutes. So anything which loads that movement, the glutes are the primary muscle making that movement happen. So yes, the leg press, the main muscle group which the leg press works is the glutes. You may feel it in your quads more, and this is because of more sensory nerves in around the quadriceps muscles, mostly because of the femoral nerve that runs underneath the quadriceps muscles. That's why you feel it more there. Just because you don't feel a muscle group in a particular movement does not mean it is effectively worked. It is not effectively worked. Also, just because you feel a particular muscle group in a particular movement also does not mean it's effectively worked. You want to choose an exercise based on the function of that muscle and load the function of that muscle. Function of the glute muscle is hip extension. The movement during a leg press is hip extension, also knee extension, so the quads definitely are involved. But yes, the glutes are involved. All right. What are your thoughts on mass gainer protein powders? Garbage. Don't use them. It's just lots of sugar and calories and bullshit. Is it healthier and better for energy levels to do shakes with whey, ice cream, oats? No, you don't want to do any of that. You don't want mass. You gain mass by getting adequate calories and adequate protein and resistance training. You don't push more calories for more mass because the only mass you're going to get from that is fat mass. When you want to gain mass, unless you want fat mass for some reason, then yeah, eat a bunch of junk food. But you're looking to gain muscle mass, which comes from resistance training and adequate protein and adequate calories. Doing, ice cream, oats, and all that shit just for the sake of raising your calories is just going to result in more fat. Is whole meal bread or pasta a good carb for health? Do you mean whole wheat? Depends on how much you eat. A lot of refined carbs like pasta and bread, no, it is not good for overall health. It's very inflammatory. How many push-ups do you think you can do in a row? I don't know. Depends. If I did them quickly, probably like 60, 70. If I did them slowly, I don't know, 15. What are your thoughts on celebrity trainers that get their athletes in great physical strength shape for movies? How do they do it? I'm not really sure how they particularly do it, but I don't know. I'd have to look at the methods they use. Generally, very strict diet is involved. I mean, money is no object for, athletes. Well, they're not athletes that are getting in shape for movies. They're actors. I think you meant actors. But you got to remember, they probably have literally personal chefs and meal prep and everything's absolutely perfect. The trainers got trainers are probably okay. They're probably mostly bullshit, but there's a lot of steroid use in Hollywood too, so keep that in mind. When is the nutrition program coming out? I need to still get a whiteboard, so I haven't done that yet because I've had a lot of coaching to do. But yeah, I'm going to get a whiteboard and describe and explain cellular metabolism, explain carbs, fats, all that. So eventually, it'll come out eventually. All the actors can't have great athletic genetics, right? Well, kind of. Again, think about how competitive Hollywood is. They're looking for a part or someone to fill a role. They have a lot of options. If they need someone to be in great shape for a role, they're going to pick the individual who's already in great shape. Like The Rock gets a lot of roles because of the way he looks, which is largely due to his genetics. The dude was like he played for Miami for football. So yeah, genetics has something to do with that. All right, 21 Studios just posted a video of Doug McGuff. We know you're a big Drew Bay fan, but would you still recommend listening to Doug too? Absolutely listen to Doug. I'm a big Doug McGuff fan too, obviously, but he doesn't put that much content out. Drew puts way more content out for training. Doug McGuff is an emergency room physician. He's very busy, so he doesn't do all that much. He's got a good book, Body by Science. I don't see that 21 Studios just put a video out of Doug McGuff. They probably. Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Yes, listen to Doug McGuff. He's great. He's brilliant. He's a savage. He's very, very smart. Hold on one second. But again, the reason I spend more time recommending Drew Bay is because Drew Bay has more content available than Doug does. But they're both very, very, very intelligent. All right. I've always had visible biceps and abs and decent back before working out. I always thought I had good genetics. When I started working out, though, I thought I would get better results. Could it be my training? You possibly might not be training hard enough. It's probably your genetics. Just because you have visible muscles doesn't mean you have the ability to grow big muscles. Very few people do. So many people go through this. They expect better results. But the thing is, it's just based on your genetics. In my studios, I've had maybe like 2-3 people who responded very, very, very well to the training. And one in particular had clearly good genetics. He came in at about, I started training him at about 190 pounds. He was working out almost every day, doing his nonsense bullshit. In a year and a half, he was up to 205 pounds. So he responded very well, but I knew right when I met him that he had good genetics, and I told him. So he responded really well. Many people are not going to be like that. The reason he came to me was because he wanted to train hard and avoid injury, didn't really know how to. And he only trained with me once a week. His name was Sam. When I first met him, he was 190 pounds, nice muscles, just, he was bigger. He was bigger than the average human being for sure, but he wasn't like a monster. By the time I got, I trained him for about a year and a half, and then he turned into literally jacked. Like when you would see him and you would think he was a bodybuilder. But I've only had maybe 1 or 2 people with genetics like this. It's very, very rare. And he had always been pretty muscular. So unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to get super, super muscular. It's just the way it is. All right. This guy, you posted your question 1 million times, and I already answered it. So stop. Do not recommend pre-exhaustion. And if so, why? No, not really. You can do it. Just research shows that pre-exhaustion doesn't result in any better stimulus or any better muscle growth. James Steele, James Fisher, a couple other exercise scientists were involved in a study measuring the difference between pre-exhaustion, rest pause, and these other techniques, drop sets, and they found that they don't provide any better benefit than just training to muscle failure. So I don't know if you guys noticed about some medicines. I'm trying to think of one. I was looking at some kind of medication or some kind of supplement the other day, and it said, take 1 to 2 times daily. Any more than that doesn't provide any better response. Okay, so this is common with medicine. There's a particular dosage, and any more than that dosage doesn't provide any additional benefit. If you take more, this happens in medicine and supplements all the time. It's the same with training. There's a particular amount that stimulates some benefit, and any more doesn't result in any more benefit, just like medicine. So pre-exhaustion, drop sets, most of the time don't result in any more benefit if you're already training hard. And in particular exercise, should the weights I lift continually increase in order for me to continue building muscle? No. No, they don't need to. Do you have any recommendations on diet or supplements that can improve sleep? Diet lower in sugar, lower in refined carbs, and melatonin for sleep. What else? That's really it. Yeah, your diet's just got to be stay away from the refined processed foods. That could help. Can I just do chest and back one and shoulder and arms the other day, then legs? Yeah, you can do whatever you want, whatever split you want. It's just going to be pretty big waste of time. That's not going to give you any better results. It's just going to take more of your time. You can do whatever you want. If you got the time to kill and you want to kill the time, go for it. What's your opinion about the adult supplement Maca? I have no idea what that is. Fortunately, I can't give you any opinion because I have no idea what that even is. I have flat feet. Do you have any recommendation for people like that during training? Flat feet should not impact any exercise. So. All right. 5'8", was 82 kilos 8 months ago, 17% body fat, 3,500 calories a day, and 10 to 12 times sport. Gym and Muay Thai. What do you mean 10 to 12 times? Per week? Now 77 kilograms or 3,000 calories daily and only 5 times per week, but I stopped losing weight. Your calories are too high. Every single time your calories are too high. Every time you stop losing weight, it's because your calories are too high. There's no way around it. Yes, you need to, you should go down more. This would not be cool because I love to eat. Well, too bad. Sorry. Can't have your cake and eat it too when it comes to exercise. No pun intended. But, you got to cut your calories more. Why do you want to lose more weight? 73 to 74 kilos is pretty light. It's up to you, though. Expanding on your response, you believe that you should wait a day or two after you feel ready to work out. Possible rationale behind this is growth is taking place during this time. Yeah, I would recommend you do that. But a lot of people are so eager to get back in the gym, thinking that the sooner they get back to the gym, the sooner they can work out again, the faster their results are going to come, which is not true. So yeah, I would recommend doing that. Say you work out on Monday, you take Tuesday off. Tuesday, you're kind of tired. Wednesday, you feel good. You could work out again. But taking that Wednesday off is probably going to be better. Margaret's an old client of mine. Snowy Albany. Yeah. Yep, don't miss that snow. It was only 68 degrees here today, but boy, do I not miss that snow. Do you have any theories on why so many more people have food allergies than before? Yeah, it's probably the diet as a kid, honestly. So like when you're, a lot of people eat really shitty stuff when they're a kid. Lots of sugar, lots of bad food, McDonald's, pizza, blah, 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 blah. I had a home cooked meal every single night. I'm from an Italian American family. Our culture is food, home cooked food, because many Italian Americans take a lot of pride in their ability to cook. And it's just a thing that we do. So I always ate at home. I never ate out. My parents never let us. So I don't have, I have a good physique, no health problems at all. No food allergies. So probably a lot of it has to do with when you're growing up as a kid and you're being exposed to all the shitty food. It's probably got something to do with it. I can't say so for sure, obviously, but that's what I would think. How did my arm training experiment go? I stopped that arm training experiment instantly because my bicep tendons started to hurt immediately. So the the bodybuilder type approach to arm training didn't work for me. So I stopped it. Tips on holding 9 to 10% body fat without bulking, gaining muscle. I'm nearing my target body fat and don't want to lose condition. Patience. You're not, there's at 9 to 10% body fat. You just got to eat a lot of protein. Eat like 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight or per kilo. Eat 3 grams of protein per kilo. Just do that. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to speed it up. I think that's probably what you're looking for. You just need to be patient. Do you think that the majority of today's athletes are on gear? Yes. In professional sports, absolutely. Even in college. I know a lot of college players that were taking steroids. It's nothing wrong. Honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If it's going to help you, fuck it. I mean, it's your life, your choice. I don't think steroids. Well, steroids could help in sports because of the anti-catabolic effect they have. But I mean, more muscle and strength isn't necessarily going to make you better at your sport. It's mostly, especially at the highest level, it comes down to skill. So, how long does it take to get in good shape from couch potato shape? It's way too general of a question, and there's way too many factors. I really can't answer that. It's not going to be 3 months. All right. Why do you hate burpees? Because burpees are not exercises. Burpees don't aggressively fatigue any one muscle group. They just involve a lot of muscle groups, which requires your cardiovascular system to supply a lot of muscle groups with blood and oxygen. So it makes your cardiovascular system work hard. That's about all it does. Burpees are inefficient. They require momentum. They're just dumb. Difference between your workout plan and Drew Bay's workout plan. What workout plan? His, I don't know. I don't know what workout plan you're referring to. Drew Bay's is probably a lot more in-depth. I simplified mine a lot more. Do you still do in-person sessions at all? I'm going to be in Florida in the next couple of months and want to get a session in. I do here and there by request. I don't regularly train people anymore. I don't have the time, and financially, it's just not as lucrative for me. So email me at the email address below if you want to set up a personal training, a one-on-one thing. But it's, just going to let you know it's not going to be cheap. I do once in a while when people come to town, I will go through a workout with them. It's kind of, I would call it like an exclusive service. But it's not going to be cheap, just to let you know. How much does the diet cost? I do a custom diet and workout together. I don't do one or the other. So when you give me all of your information through email, I charge $90 for a custom diet and workout. Plus, I make adjustments to them based on your feedback. Is it possible for me to be near my genetic potential at 20? No. I've been doing traditional bodybuilding training for 7 years. I've only been doing it for 3 months. Well, if you were bodybuilding since 13 years old, your ability to grow muscle at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is not good. You're going to see most of your muscle growth between 25 and 35 years old. So you did not hit your potential at all. No way. Hardest to build chest, arms, or legs depends completely on the individual genetics. Hardest for me to build? None of the above. I honestly find my legs grow way faster than everything else. So I actually have to reduce my frequency on legs because they get way too big, especially my glutes. They get too big to where I have to cut it back because it makes wearing clothes very uncomfortable. So personally for me, they all build really easily, but my legs probably respond the fastest. Have you ever been so bothered by someone doing a stupid exercise that you had to step in and correct them? No, but I've wanted to. Actually, the other day I saw somebody on a row machine just literally, very little weight on, just swinging the entire thing. I was just like, I wanted, but it's not my business. It's really not. Can you do a HIIT workout for chest 3 times a week if the goal is strength? You can, but you're not going to see optimal results with that. If you're training your chest hard enough for optimal stimulation, 3 times a week is going to be too much. Opinion on foam rollers, I think they're dumb. If they feel good for you, fine, but there isn't really any strong science behind a foam roller doing much of anything. It's mostly an illusion. Feels like you're doing something because it puts pressure on your muscle, but it really doesn't do anything. Thoughts on using pre-workout before HIIT training? And do you suggest stretching before or after a session? Pre-workout, if you want an energy boost, pre-workout's fine. It's not going to do anything for your gains. Personally, I don't use pre-workout. It's too much caffeine. Stretching before or after a session, absolutely pointless. It's not going to. Stretching is built into resistance training. So all stretching is muscle tension. So when you put a muscle in a stretch position, it creates tension. All right. So any side effect that you gain from this tension, you're going to get from the tension created through resistance training. So stretching is built into resistance training. So there's literally no need, no reason to stretch before or after training. How long do I need to hold a weight to start adding 200, 300 calories and see if I could eat more without gaining weight? I would do it for a week. It's going to depend though. My latest video only consisted of 4 exercises: leg press, bicep, tricep, and lateral raise. Was that enough? Yeah. So that was basically, that was just another split that, so I find when I train legs, it results in so much stress that I can only include smaller muscle groups with it. So it was just another split. Like if you don't want to do an extension and a leg curl or something like that. I mean, say for instance, you want to do all multi-joint upper body movements like chest press, row, whatever, and you don't include the biceps and triceps, or the deltoids, that's a good way to do it too. Just include them on your leg workout. Because some people only do, a leg press or a leg press and a stiff leg deadlift. Not all people do, leg press, curl, extension, and calf raise. So it was just another curl. I thought it was a great workout. I liked it. What motivates you or drives you in life? Well, I have personally, I've set a standard of living for myself. I've kind of created, in my head, the type of life I want to live. And I just won't accept anything less than that. And also, a lot of things that motivate me in life are, I kind of personally, if there's something I don't want to do, it's an indication that I need to do it. So what motivates me a lot is not wanting to do things. And then I kind of tell myself to just suck it up and do it. The best thing that motivates me is, how do I say this? How do I say this without being too blunt? All right, well, I'll just be blunt. What motivates me in life is I just say, don't be a pussy. That's it. There are things we do a lot and things we avoid, and we're just being a pussy. So like, this morning, for instance, I was sitting there enjoying my coffee. I really didn't want to take my dog to run because it was, 60 degrees out. It was cloudy. It was shitty. There he is over there growling because he's bored. And the fact that I didn't want to take him out today meant that I needed to. So what I said to myself is, stop being a pussy. And I took my dog out. Just do the things you don't want to do, because those things add up over time. Is there an absolute guarantee that working out and bettering your diet will prolong your life? Well, no, because you get hit by a fucking truck, dude. There's a significant amount of evidence that stronger people live longer, but no, there is not an absolute guarantee with anything. That's kind of a weird loaded question. No, there's no guarantee, but yeah. Exercise, stronger people live longer. There was a meta-analysis conducted of like 30,000 people and found that stronger people had longer lifespans. But no, it's not guaranteed because, I don't know. You could work out your whole life and then get hit by a truck. Okay. How is a HIIT workout comparable to a sprint workout? Well, first of all, you can't sprint to failure. So although sprinting is very demanding and it is very hard on your muscles, it will not completely fatigue your muscles to the point where it is incapable of further contraction. Therefore, sprinting does not allow you to recruit all of the available motor units. Second of all, sprinting does not significantly load and fatigue muscles of the upper body. So sprinting will not make your upper body stronger. That's why. If you do a sport which requires sprinting, you should sprint. But sprinting will not result in the same stimulus, not even close to the same stimulus for muscle growth and size as full body workout because, first of all, again, you're not training your upper body during a sprint. You're not loading the muscles against resistance. The only thing that is being loaded against some resistance is your lower body, and it's not enough continuous muscular loading to recruit and fatigue all the available motor units. Oh, shit, I already went for an hour. All right, I'm going to go for 5 more minutes. If you want your question answered first, just super chat me. Let's see. Good low back exercises, just a lumbar extension exercise or Mackenzie. Google Mackenzie exercise. Forearm exercises, just with a weight, forearm flexion, forearm extension. To failure. That's all you need. I did them today. All right, provide my Patreon. Okay, here's my Patreon. Yeah, so I've been doing videos on my Patreon showing you how I cook my meals that I typically eat. So if you are interested in that, join Patreon. And now here's the thing, guys. On Patreon now, I'm telling subscribers to ask questions, and I'm going to be posting video responses on Patreon to those questions. So if you guys have specific questions and you want like a long 5-10 minute video response to it, join the Patreon. I just posted the link there. Do you drink coffee? Yes, I drink coffee every day. About 2-3 cups. Typical breakfast meal is generally 4 eggs with some kind of just frozen potato for carbs. That's about it. Sometimes I put some cheddar cheese on it, but that's my typical breakfast almost every day. Frozen potatoes like hash browns or whatever. I'm a cruiserweight body boxer, 6 foot, 195, 12% body fat. I box 4 times per week, aiming to put on 10 to 15 pounds of mass as possible with my current boxing split. Yeah, that would probably be for the off season. Whether or not you're able to put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle is not really up to you, unfortunately. You could put on 10 to 15 pounds with a combination of fat and muscle, but adding more fat is going to be worse when it comes to boxing. But yeah, it's going to be difficult to have optimal muscle growth boxing 4 times per week. And will you be able to add 10 to 15 pounds of muscle? I don't know. It's not really up to you. Do you feel people, older women particularly, can gain strength through yoga? No. No, you cannot. Yoga is not stressful enough on the muscle tissue to build. It will build a tiny, 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 tiny amount of strength if you are completely deconditioned. Yoga will not build strength, and it will not reduce fat. Yoga is meditation. Yoga is a physical activity, but yoga is not exercise. Yoga is recreation. It is something that you do because you enjoy it. It cannot be a substitute for resistance training. You will not build strength through yoga. You will not build noticeable long-term strength through yoga. When is the video with Elliot coming out? So we did it Wednesday. Today's Monday. I wouldn't doubt if it was out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow or Wednesday. Generally, it's just a few days later. All right. That's it for me, guys. I'm going to feed my dog, feed myself, relax, recover. I did my workout today. 4 exercises, and it cooked me. So Again, if you guys want private coaching or a custom diet and workout plan, email me at this email address. I'll post it. VincentFitness@gmail.com. If you want a custom diet and workout plan, email me here. If you want a workout you can do at home, the link is right there. Also, I'm going to be making a TRX workout that I think I'll probably post next week. So you guys can just go pick up a TRX strap, TRX band. It's a good thing for if you're on the move or you're traveling or whatever. A TRX workout can be effective if you do it my way. So I'm going to show you how to do an effective TRX workout, and it's going to be for sale on the Shopify thing I got here too. So be on the lookout for that. Any particular exercises or muscle groups that anybody who's interested in a TRX workout would like, just message me, comment on some of my stuff, and I'll put it in there. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.